Hello and welcome to another Mod You Must Know, this time taking a look at some of my favorite mods from 2014. So the rule for this are they have to be mods that I personally discovered in 2014. If I knew about them from back in 2013, they're not on the list. If they're mods I only found out about in 2015, they're not on the list. So they might have been around before 2014, but they're mods that I only discovered in the past year. So yeah, let's get started. There are 10 mods that I have installed and will be demoing, and there are more mods on my honorable mention list, which I'll get to at the end of the video. All these mods are listed in a link in the description, and they have links to the forum post as well, so if you want to check them out, I highly encourage you go check the description and look at that list. Also, before I get into this mod you must know, I would like to note that while this is my top 10 favorite mods of 2014, they're in no particular order, it's just the order I have them on the list. So the one I saved for last isn't my #1 favorite. So I just wanted to say that before I started, but the first mod on my list is Apple Core. So you can see that my food bar down there has a gray tint behind it and a yellow outline on the hearts. And this is a mod I actually covered before somewhat. I covered Spices of Life when this was part of that mod. And pretty much this adds additional information to your hunger meter about your saturation and your exhaustion. The gray bar behind this is exhaustion. So I run around, you'll see it goes up and it will make the saturation go away. When I run out of saturation, I'll start to lose hunger. And I just like this because it's a really nice little feature to show how much food you have. And it's a nice little overlay that can easily be added to most mod packs. Also, if you hold food in your hand, it will have a little flashing image of how much it will add over the bar. So actually, let me just get food real quick. So if I just hop into creative real quick, probably should have prepared this better, but whoops. So if I just grab this apple and then head back to survival, you'll see that it shows a flashing image of how much the apple will heal, as well as a tooltip, I believe. So yeah, it's a pretty cool mod and adds a very nice little feature to help show your hunger. The next mod on the list is Lootable Bodies, which is another mod I did a spotlight on recently. And if I just use the /kill command, you'll see that I die and there's a body here. There is a bit of lag and we're not sure what causes that. I have looked into it, but sometimes there is lag, sometimes there is not. And I don't have a waypoint to show where I died, but if you come over here, you'll see there's my corpse. And if I check it, there'll be some randomly added rotten flesh and bones, as well as all my items, and it has space for all my equipped gear as well. So I can easily just grab this back. By default, I believe the bodies are indestructible, so the only way to remove them is, let's just make sure. Yeah, I cannot damage the bodies, they're completely indestructible, but I can hit it with a shovel 3 times and it will die and disappear, all the stuff would spill out. There also are config options to allow it to be damaged by certain damage sources, for items to take durability loss on death. If I just die again, you'll see that because I'm using the default config. And where did I die? Over here. So now if you look, the shovel and sword took some damage because that option's on by default. There also is an option at the quartz decay over time, so you have a timer on it, but by default it will last forever, I believe. So yeah, it's a really cool death mod to help hold your stuff. It also grabs nearby items when you die. So we'll be able to grab items even from mod inventories. Like you have a knapsack and everything spills all over, it can still pick it up. So yeah, it's a really cool mod to help us save your items on death. The next mod on the list is one you probably already noticed, and it's Lycanite's mobs. It adds a whole bunch of really cool and really tough mobs that are based on different biomes, like the Strider here that appears in watery biomes, the Aranosaur, I think it is, that appears in forest biomes, and many, many more. Let's see if we can find one over here. Each mobs have their own stats and abilities sometimes. They have their own drops. They're passive mods for different biomes that will have different food items you can make. And we just go into creative here. You can see that they have a lot of different weapons you can make, summoning staffs, different ones to shoot stuff like this. I think that just made some fire. But yeah, it has a whole bunch of really challenging mobs, new foods, and as you can see, here's the spawn eggs of each. It'll take a lot of time to go over them, but they're really nicely designed mobs, really challenging, and yeah, it's one of my favorite mobs, and it has a really customizable config. So yeah. The next mod on the list is Dense Ores, and as you can see here, it's a dense ore. And how this works is, let me just grab this and head up here and place it down. So if I just go here and I grab a pickaxe and I hop over to survival real quick and I mine it, you'll see that a dense ore just drops 3 of its normal ore counterparts. So if I mined a dense diamond ore, instead of getting 1 diamond, I'd get 3. And they just have a random chance of spawning in the world normally, along with ore veins, and its config does allow you to add in mod ores as well. There's even some examples on the pages for it, I believe. So yeah, and if I just search dense, I think they'll all come up. So yeah, dense ores automatically has it for all vanilla ores, and they're just a nice little perk you can find while mining. So yeah. The next mod on the list is Doomlike Dungeons, which adds these massive dungeons underground with different themes depending on the biomes, and a good bit of customization as well. I just spawned one in, so we come down here, you can have an example of what it looks like. So it does have support with Lycanites as well. I actually forgot about that. So you can see here's just chest loot, and yeah, it will pull items from the vanilla chest by default. And let me actually just grab some torches, lava works. So yeah, you can just see they're pretty insane dungeons. You can customize the difficulty, you can change the different themes and what spawners are on each one, so you can even add mobs from different mods into the things here. You can customize its chest loot and decide if it interacts with other mobs, or mods I should say, not mobs. So yeah, it's just a really cool dungeon with a lot of challenge and the possibility for a good bit of loot as well, and they're just really cool in my opinion. And we didn't get to see a lot of the different themes, but they do have ice themed ones and forest. Actually, they don't have forest, but they do have ice and swamp and different themes like that as well. A desert one. So yeah, they're just pretty cool dungeon structures that can spawn your world with a good bit of customization. The next mod on the list is another one I spotlighted before called Hopper Ducks, which pretty much is as an expansion to the vanilla hopper system, so you can have hoppers move upwards and just kind of basic hopper piping. So I put the stone in here, it will go down to the hopper and then go in the hopper duct and be able to move upwards into this chest, something the vanilla hopper system is not capable of. It also adds a filtered hopper here, or graded hopper I should say, and let me just go here so you can see the, oops, wrong key. So that's how you make the graded hopper, that's how you make the hopper duct. I don't think I forgot any recipes earlier in this mod spotlight. Yep, this was the first one of a recipe. So yeah, and the graded hopper is just like a normal hopper, but you can, let's just right click here, set items that it will not accept. And pretty much you can watch my spotlight to see all the details, but I really like it because it's a very simple piping system that goes alongside hoppers. It even works nice in mod packs with more tech even, as a nice early game alternative. So yeah, it's just a really cool piping mod. The next mod on the list is Chant Veil, which has this nice little item here, crafted like this, that can help remove enchantments from items. So if I put the diamond helmet here, I can use 2 levels to either get the enchanted book, if I put a book in here, or a diamond helmet back. So I get to split the enchantment from the item. So I want the book, I lose the helmet, but I can get the enchantment and then apply it to other helmets that I want. And yeah, it's a pretty nice little system there to help separate enchantments from items. And it's also really good so you can enchant gold items to get the high level enchantments, then split them and put them on your diamond items or such. And it's just a really nice little feature that I'd love to see. The next mod on the list is a recently revived mod called Waypoints. How this works is you get this little block here called a waypoint crafted like this, and you can set them up in a 2x2 or a 3x3. That's a horrible 3x3. Or a 3x3, and then if you right click it, it'll turn into a waypoint. Then if you stand on it and right click, you can name the waypoint, and I'll just call this one here. And then I'll take you to a list of all available waypoints, and you can click on any to teleport to it. So I have one here. I have one there, and I can just teleport back. It's a really nice teleportation system. It doesn't have a lot of cost, but I think there is a config option now to add cost as well. So it's just a really cool and simple teleportation mod. It's one of my favorites, and I'm so glad to see it back. The next mod on the list is a really cool one called Loot++ that allows you to customize pretty much everything. And I'm not kidding. I can't really show much in game because it doesn't really add much on its own, but it does allow you to customize chest loot, including the nether chest. It can tweak recipes, it can add drops to mobs, or add and remove I should say, add and remove drops from blocks, and even add custom items. And it's actually a very simple and user-friendly way to add all this stuff. It's just really cool. And as you can see here, it also adds a spawn chest. So I place down this item, it will turn into a villager blacksmith chest, just like if I found in the world. So it also makes it easy, or very easy I should say, to test chest loot to make sure you got everything working correctly. And yeah, it's just a really awesome mod with a lot of customization options, and it's just so great for mod packs. And yeah, it's awesome. And the final mod on this list is Apocalypse. Now, if I skip the time forward to, let's say, that should work. It will say the monsters grow impatient and you see the difficulty meter increases. Actually, if I just go a bit further, I think, let Let me see, would this be it, or is that too far? Nope, I overshot it, darn. But anyway, pretty much adds a difficulty meter. That means over time, mobs will get stronger. They get more health, more damage, chance for potion effect, and all this is customizable. It also adds a chance for full moons to occur, in which you can't sleep, and you'll be sieged by a whole bunch of mobs, including new mobs like the Breacher here. It's not a creeper, it's a Breacher. The Grump, the Seeker, the Ghost, and the Destroyer. And these are all very tough mods with their own effects. I don't want to go into all of them right now, but the Ghost can travel through blocks, by the way. And it's just a really cool mod to add challenge and slowly increasing difficulty to your world, which is something I wanted for a while. And yeah, it's just really awesome with a lot of config options as well to tweak it to how you want it. So yeah, that includes my top 10 favorite mods, but now for some honorable mentions. Okay, so for the honorable mentions, there are no particular order, and I'm just going to say the name of the mod in a quick little description because there's a lot to cover. So first we have Melissa's Doors, which adds some cool new door animations, as well as some new door options, and some other cool little cosmetic stuff like a block mixer. Tomahawk, which adds the ability to throw axes, making a more valuable weapon. Leppy's Ladders, which adds a couple new ladders as well as a ladder dispenser to make it a bit easier to use ladders and traverse your world. Tube Stuff, which has some cool new options to assist piping and works with hoppers and hopper ducts even, so you don't need like a big tech mod with pipes, but adds stuff like incinerators, an automatic crafting table, and some other really cool things that add some nice more automation to your world. Then we have Red Logic, which is a nice mod to add on to the vanilla redstone system with more compact circuits, wires, lighting, and that's cool sort of stuff. We have Refined Relocation, which is a nice sorting mod with compatibility with Iron Chest and Jabba, and it also has a teleport option in it. Stacky, which improves how items stack on the ground, as well as letting you change stack size of items. Then there's the Lantern mod, which lets you make a lantern that can cast light while in your hand or in your hotbar. There's also Armor Overlay, which shows how much armor you have going past the 10 vanilla armor icons, which is good for using with other mods. There's Balcon's Weapons, which adds a whole bunch of really cool new weapons and even guns, and it's just my favorite weapon edition mod, and it goes great with vanilla just to add a bit more variety. There's Brewcraft, which allows you to automate potions and adds new potion types, and is just a really cool system to brew potions and treat them more as a liquid than just something in bottles. There's also description tags, which allows you to add more tags to the game, like a name tag, to track other things like kills for certain mobs and other things like that, change the lore of items, and it just adds a really nice little addition there. Then there's Traveler's Gear, which is kind of a Baubles add-on. It actually bridges Baubles and the Tinker's menu and a lot of other armor menus to have one screen where you can view all your equipment at once and add equipment there and view things like heart canisters and different bonuses, and also adds a few new cosmetic armor slots of its own. So yeah, it's just a pretty cool mod and gives a bit more of an RPG feel to all that equipment you have. Then there's Torch Levers, which adds some cool new camouflage blocks, like, well, levers that are torches. And there's also different redstone things, like the redstone lever, the redstone button, and some other things like spikes and camouflage trapdoors, and just a whole bunch of really cool stuff like that. There's also Falling Meteors, which is one I might have known about back in 2013. I can't remember. But it adds falling meteors, new ore types, and new weapons and armor, and I just really love how the mod works, how it's balanced, and all the features of it. And the final one is Natural Absorption, which adds a meter of absorption you can regenerate naturally, and you can increase through various things like enchantments and consumables. So yeah, that's it for the honorable mentions. Anyway, I think that's it for this mod you must know. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my list of my favorite mods from the past year, and let me know in the comments what some of your favorite mods were. And until next time, goodbye.